JSB Talks Digital.
Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, bloggers, business owners, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke, and this podcast is brought to you by Digital Training Institute. Coming up in today's show, news from the Digital Citizenship Summit at Twitter headquarters in San Francisco, the digital DNA of Generation Z, JSB interviews digital citizenship influencers who are making waves online and in classrooms and in communities. JSB's column, I launch a partnership between Digital Training Institute and the Digital Citizenship Institute to bring digcit programs to boardrooms and workplaces. And the social media tool that saved my working week in San Francisco. Welcome to a very special episode of JSB Talks Digital, where I recorded a series of interviews at Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. I was stateside for the Global Digital Citizenship Summit, where my daughter Sophie and I spoke. I am thrilled to say that my trip to the west coast of the United States from the west coast of Ireland was a very successful one, and I announced some very exciting news while there. Attending and presenting at Twitter headquarters on Market Street in downtown San Fran was quite an experience, as you can imagine. It was a very special occasion for both Sophie and I, and one that I will cherish for a long time to come. I actually put into context how much this trip meant to me, and you can read about that on my blog entitled Why Parenting at 17 Years Old Inspired Me to be a Digcit Parent. Our presentation, The Digital DNA of Generation Z, so those born from the mid-1990s to the mid-noughties, took a closer look at the digital legacy of this generation, whom I believe are experiencing digital shock with no real guidance on how to have an old digital head on young shoulders. I've put together the notes from that presentation, as well as the slides and a very useful infographic on my blog at digitaltraining.ie. I'm also currently writing up my highlights from the summit, so be sure to watch out for that post also. In it, I will reference all the speakers and their Twitter handles so you can follow their work online. I took the opportunity to interview a series of influencers who are making a massive difference in schools and communities by teaching the safe, savvy and ethical use of the internet across the United States. In this section, you will hear from Mary-Alice Curran, co-founder of the Digital Citizenship Summit and founder of Digital Citizenship Institute, Derek Larson, a former middle school teacher and now a digcit educator, 10-year-old Olivia, founder of LiveBits, 10-year-old Curran D from Digcit Kids, and Sarah Thomas, a digital educator.
Interviews.
Derek Larson, you're from the state of Utah, and this is your second or third Digital Citizenship Summit. How was today for you at Twitter HQ?
This is my second time here with the Digit Summit. It was amazing. This has been like a dream come true. As soon as Mary Alice mentioned it in London, that the next one could be at Twitter, very tightly wrapped, I thought, I've been using this tool for years. What an amazing opportunity to come and be here. I'm a nerd by nature, and so Twitter has been one of my favorite things. And so just even coming to San Francisco I've always loved it. So awesome.
And you know, the digital citizenship community is small, but it's also really large. And we met each other at the UK summit in Bournemouth, and those connections, I think, are lifelong, aren't they?
I would certainly hope so. I think I always tell people that you can create and maintain relationships that are as real as anything online, and this is just a perfect example. Earlier today, it was mentioned multiple times, in fact, that we're in a room full of strangers and yet we know most of each other, but we just haven't met each other's faces. And I think that's exactly the case. You know, I have many friends here that I think, Sarah Thomas is one, for example. I've known her for a couple of years online. We didn't meet until England as well. But now we've met 3 other times, and it gets better and better, and so I hope they're very long lasting with this.
JSB Talks Digital.
So I'm joined now on JSB Talks Digital by Olivia, founder and creator of LiveBits. Thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome.
So how was it for you today? Your presentation was amazing and I got really great feedback.
I love it. I love presenting, I love talking, I love thinking, I love sharing.
So tell me about LiveBits. What are you all about?
So I'm all about reading, thinking, digital citizenship, and social media. And lots of the time, people say how to LiveBits get started. It's actually quite a funny story.
Tell me the funny story.
So my mom does projects in her classroom called a selfie center, where the kids would take an iPad and they would take a video about their reading and their thinking about their books. And what I was doing, so I saw her doing it. I'm like, Mom, can I do them too? Okay, just wait a little while. Every single day, like in the morning, I say, Mom, can I do it now? No. Can I do it now? No. Can I do it now? No. And then finally, after 3 months of asking, she said, okay, fine, you can start this. And then I started my own version of the Citizenship Center called the LiveBits. So that was the day LiveBits was born.
And wow, and you ended up here at Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. How amazing is that?
I love it. And actually, I get 1,000 followers a week now.
No way.
I've only been on Twitter since July.
That's amazing. So how have you achieved that?
Well, what I do is I post lots of LiveBits. I retweet, I comment, and like a lot on different people's posts.
So you engage with other people. That's the secret.
Yes.
JSB Talks Digital.
I'm joined by Curran D, who runs the Twitter account at Curran Central, and he opened the Digital Citizenship Summit here in San Francisco today at Twitter headquarters. And Curran, you're involved in digcit Kids. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's digital citizenship for kids by kids, and every month we do a different challenge to promote all the awesome kids things are doing.
And you've reached out to kids all over the world through your Twitter account. How does it feel to run a Twitter account with your mum, Mary-Alice Burke?
It feels awesome.
And you've spoken at how many conferences now? At least 3?
Yeah.
How do you get that confidence?
I don't know. I just practice a lot and I get used to it.
So how do you learn about the world? I know you go to school, but I think I've heard you say before that you also learn through the social web and through social media. How important is that to you?
It's really important. You learn a lot about the world, because if you want to learn about the world, you have to learn with the world.
So what is your vision and your goals for digcit Kids? What do you want to achieve?
I hope every kid in the world gets digital access.
Well, tell you what, you are doing a fantastic job. Congratulations on your keynote today. And thank you for being on my podcast, JSB Talks Digital.
Thank you.
JSB Talks Digital.
So I'm joined by Sarah Thomas, who's a regional technology coordinator in the state of Virginia. Sarah, I always love your presentations at the Digital Citizenship Summit conferences. Tell our listeners what your job involves.
Oh, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure to see you. And my job involves helping to support 11 schools in our district. So, I mean, it's a great undertaking, but I really enjoy it.
So you're not the traditionalist educator, because I know in the UK you brought a drone to your presentation, and today you were talking about how you bring digital citizenship into the classroom. So tell me about a typical day in your world.
Oh, a typical day. That's hard because there is no such thing as a typical day. I just moved into this position about maybe 10 months ago. So I'm still kind of learning, and every day is kind of different, but it could deal with helping educators incorporate technology into their classrooms or supporting them in some other way. So no day looks the same, so it's always different.
And you know, educators are conservative by nature. So how do you force those boundaries and try and convince them to move in and to embrace the digital age?
I think that in terms of one of my big visions is to help connect the district. And I feel that a lot of educators are kind of moving towards connectivity and sharing their stories, sharing what works best for them. And I'm just really hoping to help foster this trend, to continue it, because really we learn so much from one another. So I want them to continue to share what works for them.
JSB's column.
I am delighted to announce that Digital Training Institute will partner with Digital Citizenship Institute to bring digcit programs to workplaces across the globe. Dr. Mary-Alice Curran has an extensive career in academia, and her research team includes the godfather of digital citizenship, Mike Ribble, and author, professor, and digital humanist Jason Oler. Mary-Alice has also founded digcit Kids, a platform for children to promote and advocate for good digital citizenship, which she runs with her 10-year-old son, Curran. Digital citizenship is mainly focused on education in the United States and in many other countries. However, I've spotted a gap for its relevance to the world of work. So together, Mary-Alice and I will develop a series of programs aimed at the corporate world for managers and employees. Mary-Alice's Digital Citizenship Institute will also provide accreditation for my courses, and she will certify Sophie and I as digcit educators. Our vision is to ensure that all workplaces are digital citizenship friendly and that no generation is left behind in the digital age. If you are interested in introducing digital citizenship into your organisation or workplace, please drop me an email to joanne@digitaltraining.ie.
Interview.
Mary-Alice Curran, so we have just come to the end of the Digital Citizenship Summit here in Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. How was the day for you?
Oh, it exceeded all expectations, and I'm so grateful that you and your daughter Sophie were able to be a part of it and bring this international voice, as well as, we had speakers from India, from Australia, from Canada, from Spain. It was amazing, and to see the reach that we have, that our communities are local, global, and digital all simultaneously. It's amazing.
And how important is it to have an online community, but to bring them together face to face?
My mom, I have to just say, my mom has this expression. She'll say to me, are these real people or are these virtual people? And the beautiful thing is that it's one and the same. So, today was an opportunity where you got to meet people, sometimes for their first time. And, the fact that I feel more connected to some of the relationships I've met with people, offline, and then to meet them online. It's like a family. This is a family reunion.
And there were lots of parent and child stories.
Oh, okay. So, of course, as a mother-son, and you're the mother-daughter, but we also had another mother-daughter, team with us. And that to me is really, really powerful. And it speaks volumes that we're leading the way about, as parents, we're learning alongside our children. And you have even a young adult and adults, but you've been doing this alongside, shoulder to shoulder, just as I am. So my son only happens to be 10, but what we're doing together, I feel like, is an example for all parents everywhere.
So Mary-Alice, the Digital Training Institute and the Digital Citizenship Institute are going to partner on a number of programs. Talk to us about that.
Okay, so excited that this is, we got to announce it here at Twitter headquarters. But the exciting part is, through the Digital Citizenship Institute, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to certify our teachers to be Digital Citizenship Institute certified teachers. And then we're going to accredit our Digital Citizenship Institute courses, which is really exciting. And then the part about our collaboration and partnership is that we're going to take that, and our partnership then is going to bring it, we'll start with our educators, but we're bringing it into the corporate world and business, thanks to the Digital Training Institute and the work that you have already laid the groundwork for.
And it's so important because employees, so you've got Generation X, who maybe don't understand digital citizenship, but they're using the social web, and it has big implications for corporate companies if they misuse social media. So I think it's a huge opportunity.
Oh, and it's digital citizenship is for everybody. This is in and out of the classroom. It, obviously should be in our schools, but it's got to be in our workplaces. It has to be in our communities. It's got to be at the school bus. It's got to be at the grocery store. Wherever it is that we're going, we need to all be a part of this conversation. We have to be mindful that, each one of us has a responsibility, and that we are all role models, and the choices that we're making on a regular basis really do matter.
And I would really like to see the Digital Citizenship Summit coming to Ireland. Is that a possibility?
Oh, that is, well, thanks to you, it's going to be a huge possibility. And that's where, we've started this global collaboration that we continue. And I always like to use that analogy about, you skipping stones. And as, we all make a decision to skip stones, we're like creating this like big, huge tsunami of just, changing really the world.
Social media tool of the week.
The social media tool that saved my working week is Voxer. Voxer is the only app that delivers voice live. You can listen immediately or listen later at your convenience. It's huge stateside. My friend Derek Larson introduced me to it in Bournemouth earlier this year when we both attended the UK Digital Citizenship Summit. But it seriously helped me out this week on my travels around San Francisco to help me keep in touch with my colleagues over the few days that we were all there. Voxer is available on iPhone, Android, and also on the web. You can also download it on the Apple Watch and the Samsung Gear S2 watch. Have a look at the Digital Training Institute Facebook page for some Voxers that I've overlaid with an image to create a video. So, will you Voxer? Find out more at voxer.com. A big thanks to everyone at Twitter headquarters who gave us such a warm welcome. We had an awesome time and I particularly enjoyed tweeting from Twitter. Thank you also to Mary-Alice Curran and David Polgar for inviting me to speak for a second time at their digcit summits. I hope to bring the event to Ireland next year. If you want to hear more from Dr. Mary-Alice Curran, check out episode 14. San Francisco, you were amazing. I loved running around your streets, even though I got lost once or twice. Finally, I feel very fortunate to have been so warmly welcomed into the digcit community, online and in real life. Our shared passion for a better internet has led to wonderful collaborations. This has been JSB Talks Digital. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.
JSB Talks Digital.